Hey guys, Colby here. Welcome back to another raid video. Today, I'll show you guys a double Helicath team. This is an insane team in terms of damage potential because Helicath is, I would say, the best block damage champion in terms of just damage potential that he can provide to your team. Just an amazing legendary that was actually a fusion way back, I think, last year. It must have been last year. Can't remember the exact date, but it's fantastic that this champion was added to the game through a way that all players could have him. Of course, you can still summon for him, and this account actually had 4 Helicaths in total. He has a Helicath that is +2 and then a Helicath that is extra. So sometimes luck is weird in this game. You get a champion more than others. It feels like he's just haunting your account. Well, this guy was lucky enough to get haunted by a champion that is well worth it. And I personally wouldn't do a +2. I would keep maybe 1 PvP Helicath and then do a 2 Helicath team. But I mean, everyone does whatever they please with their account, okay? So let me show you guys the team that I made on this account. This is a takeover. We're doing an account for, we're doing this takeover to make a team for Ultra Clan Boss. The idea is to get something better than a 2-key. The potential actually is to do a 1-key. Should be much easier than we think. So let's have a look at the champions overall. This is very similar to the Bad Eater setup. I would say it's a 1-to-1 copy of the Bad Eater setup, except for the DPS slot. So if you want to make an affinity friendly team with the Bad Eater setup that does not include the Man-Eater, so it's a Bad Helicath Eater, no, it's Helibat. Helibat? I don't know what name Deadwood gave this. He's so unique with the names. But anyway, this is not a unique team. This has been out since forever. Any block damage champion with a 4-turn cooldown on his block skill will work the same way. But Helicath is better than that because when he applies a block damage buff, okay, and one of your allies gets hit by the boss, then Helicath will be counterattacking. And this is not unique to one Helicath. So both Helicaths will be interrupting the fight with their attacks. So when the boss hits your team that is block damaged, has block damage up, Helicath will be just going in there with his counterattack and doing some damage. So my Helicaths are built for damage here. Look at this. This is the fast Helicath with a little bit over than 265 speed, 168 crit damage, only 3.3 thousand defense, 267 accuracy. And the reason for that is that Helicath can apply a weakened debuff on his default attack, which he will be doing throughout the fight multiple times. So only one of the 2 Helicaths will be built with accuracy. And he also has the Brimstone Blessing, which allows him to apply that Brimstone because of the accuracy requirement, okay? And with masteries, pretty much everyone will be running War Master here, and then trying to get the Steadfast Martial Mastery as well on everyone except for our main damage dealer, which I'll show you guys in a second. So Helicath number 1 is built like this. Helicath number 2 is built very similarly, but with lower speeds at 243, 141 crit damage, 4000 defense, no accuracy as I said, but if you want, you can run him with accuracy if you're going to use him somewhere else. And the masteries are pretty much a carbon copy so far, right? The same masteries as before. You don't need lasting gifts, by the way. So it's all up to personal preference whether you're going to build it like that. Then our next legendary, the one that does lots of damage, is going to be Mishinagi. Mishinagi can be built with this War Master and then going defense route. Although you don't need it, I would say the support route would be ideal for using Master Hexter to extend the duration of the HP burn. But again, this is not required because you will be applying the HP burn so frequently that it doesn't matter. In terms of the defense down, he will be applying it frequently as well. So overall, because of the multiple turns that each champion is taking, they're taking a 2-to-1 ratio, meaning you'll take 2 turns for every 1 that the boss is taking. Your cooldowns of 3 turns will not really matter in the sense of not having a debuff on the boss at any point. So that is the good thing. The masteries don't matter much. After that, my accuracy is at a high point with, 252, 213 crit damage, 3.8k defense. The stats we have are not, that great, okay? I could have definitely had better stats, but you'll see, guys, the damage in the end, and you'll be surprised on the damage because I've recorded the run already. I'm just doing now the introduction. I want to show you guys each champion, and then I'll also have a link for the Deadwood Jedi link that I've made for this with the exact team comp that I'm running with their speeds and everything. So the crucial thing here is Doom Priest. So we're running the DPS at 241, but Doom Priest, who's also a DPS, the position of Doom Priest is crucial for the cleanse, since Doom Priest can cleanse every single time they take a turn. If you guys remember the Bat Eater setup, the 220 to 227 speed champion will be doing their attack at the start of the run, always. At the start of each round, each turn, sorry, always. So having 3.6 thousand attack, 226 speed, 146 crit damage allows me that opportunity to be able to cleanse. I also have War Master on Doom Priest, and then on Seeker, the final piece to the puzzle, 253 speed, 195 crit damage, 4000 attack. That is pretty nice actually for a Seeker. And War Master with the support tree going all the way to lasting gifts, although that doesn't matter. I basically wanted the steadfast martial, steadfast mastery. Why do I say steadfast martial? Because that's a champion. Did I say it before also? I don't know, maybe. Anyway, guys, these are all the champions, their gear. I'm trying to focus with damage as much as possible. Sometimes you need to run a crit rate glove. It's totally fine to do that, guys. It's totally fine to do that. You can still get 200% crit damage with that. Crit rate gloves. And you're just trying to get the speed, which the speeds might seem high, but an account that is trying to push Ultra Nightmare, you gotta be able to get some champions to 250. There were other champions in the account available that I could have pushed in order to make a team that can do something like a 140 million damage. Like I could build the Mytha team, but I didn't have the gear. Gear is very important in any account out there to build in terms of getting speed, but to build a Mytha with 300 plus speed is quite impossible for many accounts out there that are quite young. So if your account is under 2 years old, it's very difficult to have 320 speed on supporting champions, then also have like your arbiter build very fast. So with that in mind, I went for a lower speed requirement team, and luckily with the 2 Helicaths, that was possible. So since I did the run already, I don't want to spoil you guys how much damage I dealt on Ultra Nightmare. So I'm gonna go to dungeons here, and I'm gonna show you the clan boss setup for the custom AI. So how the custom AI works, Mishinagi needs to open up with his Hex. This allows him to counterattack through his passive every time an enemy hits an ally hits an enemy with a Hex on. So he counterattacks, applies the HU burn. We're all good. Helicath, 269 speed, the fast one, opens up with a block, supports with his A2. Doom Priest, block out the A2, doesn't really matter. We're just using the A1 to provide a crit rate boost. Everybody's at 100% crit rate. I just do this for maximum damage, so Doom Priest will always be doing the default skill, which can proc the War Master. If you do the A2, you lose out on the A1, and there's no reason to, because I don't need the increased attack. I have it through Seeker, and only Seeker and Doom Priest receive the benefit from that. Mishinagi is defense-based, Helicath defense-based, Helicath is defense-based. Helicath number 2 has to be slower, okay? Has to be slower. Has to be faster, sorry, than Mishinagi. So 241, 243 for this one. 140 crit damage. I mean, it's low, as I said before, but we open up with the A1. Then he will follow up with the block, and then he will do the A2. Works fantastically, as you will see. And then Seeker finally opening up with the A1 to make the things work. You will find a link in the description of the video, guys, for the deadwoodjedi.info page, which is the calculator page for this. It will showcase the exact setup that I am using. You can run 226 speed, as you saw there on Doom Priest. You can play around with the speeds if you have higher or even lower, but there are limits to this. There are limits to this, and you should stay within the limits. As long as you see the block, okay, happening here, as you see, Helicath is blocking. Helicath is blocking. Their A3 is their block. As long as you're seeing the block happening on every single turn count after, I would say, turn count 2 here, then you are good. Play around with the speeds if you want to. I would say you can stick within limits, let's say 240 to 248 for Helicath and Mishinagi. Seeker can be about 250 to 256, I believe. Helicath, the fast one, can be 265 plus. You can go as high as you want, but don't push it. Just go for more damage. And then for the DPS Doom Priest, you'd go 218 to 227. I usually go about 220 speed with this setup, and I don't try to push it higher than that because sometimes something might happen. But this is the setup. I will give you guys a link in the description of the video to try out the team on your own. And then finally, guys, some tips in terms of just boosting your damage eventually. If you're not close to the 1 key, what you can do is go to your area bonuses, do some live arena, and then devote those crests to get a little bit more crit damage, or ignore defense. This is actually huge for clown boss damage. It will just blow up your damage in terms of how much you can do. Attack percent, not so much. HP percent, not so much. Defense percent, not so much. But ignore defense and crit damage. Even just the 1 upgrade gives you a 2% boost. That is, I mean, a cruel set gives you 5%. If you can get a couple of levels here through the bronze crest that you can farm, you need, I know you need a lot of bronze crest, but it is a very, very impactful investment. And once you have that 1 key or even a 2 key, you can rest a little bit and focus on other areas of the game. But the goal is always to get the 1 key so you can unlock the quick battle mode. So with that in mind, let's get into the actual battle. I'm gonna start it, let it go for a little bit, and then we'll come back in the end to see the total damage. And just like that, guys, this is the run. Almost 100 million damage with the double Helicath team. It's quite insane on the potential of this team. You do require the 2 Helicaths in order to get the maximum potential of damage, but as I said before, the requirement to have them is not there in terms of you can still do good damage without the Helicaths if you have 2 similar block damage champions. Even like a rush card, double rush card works for this. Okay, it definitely works for this, but they don't, rush card does not have the thing where if the block damage is up, he'll be counterattacking. So let's see the overall damage. Mishinagi doing a solid 33 million damage. Helicath with 19, the other Helicath with 13, Doom Priest with a 15 million damage. That's only because of the Phantom Touch and the poisons that go throughout the fight, and Seeker with a 14 million damage on his own. He doesn't even have toxic set, although you cannot do double toxic, by the way. With this setup, it will be just too many debuffs, and I think you would lose important debuffs potentially, such as having Hex on, which allows Mishinagi to counterattack, and then potentially applying always his HP burn on. And also Brimstone is a very important debuff. Brimstone on its own provides about 10 to 12 million damage for the duration of the fight. So it's a huge debuff to have available. Very, very strong team, as you saw. And we now have unlocked Ultra Nightmare. The account before this was doing less than a 2 key. The guy just wanted a 2-key team. So after the takeover, he actually has now a 1-key, which equals to unlocking all the quick battles for his clan boss teams, which is just fantastic. Alleviate a lot of time spent every single day for farming. So guys, this was the video. Thank you all so much for watching and supporting the channel. I appreciate every one of you. I will see you in the next one. See ya.